And welcome everyone to the Ginette Biro Podcast. I'm Ginette Biro and I am so thrilled to have you guys here as always. Thank you for joining me on this absolutely wonderful day of magic. And I'm talking magic because today being December 14th, 2020 is a really big day. It's a power-packed day. And that's what I'm going to talk about today in the podcast because we've got auroras happening, we've got solar flares happening, the merging of fire and water signs, we've got a new moon and an eclipse. It's just a hugely impactful, important, transformative, I don't know what other words I get out in there, time of change right now. And so it was really cool last night. I decided to channel last night a little bit. And so I opened up to my council, and there's several in my council. And it was interesting. So one of the archangels came through to me, and it's Azrael. And so some of you may know of Archangel Azrael as the Grim Reaper, or the bringer of death and destruction. Now, I also want to say, though, that Azrael is a bringer of support during very transformative changes. And so it's not always just death and destruction. It's in transformation, in deep transformation. And that's really what our world has been going through. And so he came through to me in the embodiment of what he called Lord Charon, is how I understood it. And he's known as in Greek mythology as the Lord who ferries newly departed souls to the other side, and is another aspect or emanation of Archangel Azrael. And Azrael brought it to me that way so that I wouldn't get in my own way of receiving the message, which I thought was pretty sneaky, because if Azrael just walked up the way he normally does, I would have been like, okay, now what's going on? Like, who's passing or this and that? But here's the beautiful thing, is the message came through with a ton of positivity, and it made a lot of sense that it was Azrael bringing this message, because it was really about us accepting and acknowledging the feelings we're feeling right now, but him coming in to share a whole bunch of stuff. So there's a lot of concepts in this podcast that I'm going to throw at you. You might have to listen to it once or twice, but it's going to be worth it, and it made a lot of sense, and I felt so much peace after having talked to him. So here it goes. He said, first of all, that Mother Nature and the cosmos are talking to us in a very big way. And we are seeing that by the solar flares starting again. And they were really kind of dormant for a little while, but they're starting again. And those are causing an Aurora Borealis. And that was seen throughout a lot of the world when those solar flares started. And a really cool thing was, I have to tie this back to my book. In my book, when Spirit told me that I wasn't going to be crossing, in my book From Avalon to Aurora is what it's called, and it's all about my near-death experience. And when they said that I wasn't going to be crossing, they said what was to be Avalon, which is the other side, is now Aurora. And Aurora is an earthly sign and symbol of great change taking place on the planet. And so what I thought was so amazing is these solar flares came in, which created auroras around the whole world. You could see them in a lot of the northern hemisphere, marking a great change in time. And so that just like absolutely melted my heart because of my own personal understanding of it. And I wanted to share that with you guys. As well, we're seeing these eclipses, and the energies of the cosmos have aligned with that of Mother Earth. And if you open to listen to it, you can see the responses. You can see how on every level there is the planetary consciousness is awakening, the higher realm consciousness is awakening, the cosmic consciousness is working with this planetary consciousness so that everything is creating this beautiful flow. What that means is this is a good thing, okay? So the events over the past days are leading up to December 21st, he said, the equinox, and they are very important. So today, December 14th, is significant. It is called Gandanta in Vedic astrology, and it describes the juncture point in the zodiac that are connected with big times of soul growth. And think about how much soul growth we've been experiencing on this planet throughout 2020 to culminate right now at this real big juncture point. And again, anytime we reach a cosmic alignment of Gandanta, again, according to Vedic astrology, is when we see massive transformations that happen. There are very significant times in history. If you go back to different Gandanta points in history, you'll see there were points of massive transformation. And so this position is where basically solar and lunar zodiacs meet. And so today, the moon sign is in Scorpio while the sun sign is in Sagittarius. And Scorpio is a water sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. And so whenever fire signs and water signs meet, that is also a part of something being Gandanta. So this is what's really cool, is they are meeting at this crux point, and where they meet, you get endings and beginnings. And this is why I did that quick post the other day that today is really about endings and beginnings. Honor where you have been and have faith in where you are going, because this changeover energy of endings and beginnings is happening right now. And so a lot of people are feeling this in-between space and feeling rather odd and awkward and edgy or uncomfortable, but it's because you're in the in-between. So don't have fear in it. Take that energy that you're feeling and channel it into looking through your past and having gratitude for who you are, and look to your future and have faith in what you're manifesting and intending for yourself. And so I have to share that I've been having a ton of dreams of floods and fires. And now not all of that is literal. A lot of it is symbolic. But there is some aspects in there that this is a time of people awakening and doing the personal work to ascend to a higher level of consciousness. And people of all kinds are doing this. People that are new to consciousness and awakening are doing this, but so are light workers who are well versed in the worlds of spiritual stuff are also doing the work. I have had to dig deep and do a ton of work this year. And so everyone is doing it, right? And so those that are choosing to step up are doing so, just as those that are choosing that they have completed either what they needed to do in this lifetime or no longer wish to be present on this planet for where the changes are going, are deciding to exit. And so again, right now, we will continue to see more people exiting. And what I mean by exit is more people will die and cross to higher dimensions to continue their learning somewhere else. And some, will go on to take a break and basically be on the other side for a while and rest and recuperate and plan for their next lifetime. Others might be moving on to other dimensions, other places where they can either continue their learning or help others in their learning. It's so multifaceted. It's so hard to wrap it into a simple statement, but there's just so much more. So this is what's happening on this day, and that's just the Gandanta pieces, the Vedic astrology pieces. We also have, again, if I bring it back to the solar flares, the aspects of how the sun is working with us right now as well. The sun, our actual fireball sun in the sky, has this consciousness to it that is more than just a fireball, more than just the thing that gives life to make the planet work. It has a consciousness energy to it. And so these solar flares that are happening from the sun bring in with them an amplified energy of consciousness from source, from God, from creator, from Allah, from the universe, whatever your term is that you're comfortable, it's coming from that. And so this beautiful energy coming from the sun right now is literally physically showing us it is filling the planet with more energy of consciousness. And we, being that we've been through a lot of lockdowns, changing of how our lives are run, we've been called to go inward. We have basically made space. We've made room for this influx of consciousness. That's what gets me really excited. And so the solar flares are massive waves of electromagnetic energy that help us grow, and they help our body to activate different things for ascension. So in some ways that affects your DNA. In other ways it affects the actual energetic frequency ability of your body's ability to handle a higher frequency, which then allows you to access more consciousness. So the more you can be out in the sun, the better. The more you can embrace the sun, the energies of the sun, the gratitude for the sun. Again, all of those things bring in that higher light energy. So it's quite beautiful. And again, these solar flares trigger electromagnetic energy on the earth that creates these auroras to appear. And this, I can't express to you guys how much this means. Mother Earth and the cosmos are working with us to change consciousness. It's happening, and they're showing us by these massive, beautiful displays of Mother Nature right now. And so again, even above that, they're also saying that there's a lot of animal symbols coming through right now too. And so we're seeing, whether it's in dream state or actually physically you're seeing it, but like there's a lot of animals that are bringing in a higher vibration because they can carry it with much more ease than humans. And so they're already carrying this high frequency light, which is connected to this massive grid. We've talked about the collective consciousness grid on the planet, and it's basically a grid of light. And so these solar flares are reaching this grid, as well as the animals that have upped their vibrational capacity are connecting to this grid as well. And so when we recognize the symbolisms in the animals coming to us, whether in dream state, visions and meditation, or physically in real life, that creates this powerful connection, like plugging something in and you get more light. That's basically what's happening. And so again, Mother Nature is not only giving us the auroras, but she's giving us the different animals that are coming to show us this. And when we recognize those moments, we get to plug into this higher source of energy. And so, I mean, animals like wolves and eagles and swans and doves, I've been seeing them, and Spirit made them very apparent to me that I've literally been seeing them in physical form as well. Like actual wolf dogs is one of them. Ran into 2 wolf dogs randomly. 3 eagles flew over me in a circle in the middle of the city too, not in the forest or anything, in the middle of the city. A single swan showed up. Like, I could go on and on about that, but the earth energies are speaking to us. And Mother Earth is speaking to us to tell us of these changes that are happening. And that although some of them might be extreme, some of them are really pushing us. We are being supported from below, meaning Earth, and we're being supported from the cosmos and above. And the cosmos, I'm talking about the Galactic Federation, which I'll talk more about, the higher realms, the angels, the light beings, like you name it. We are supported to make a change right now. And we just need to remember that we are more than mere 3D beings. And again, this is what Azrael was telling me, all of this stuff that I'm sharing with you guys. We have to remember we are multidimensional. And when we open our senses to all that is happening around us, there are so many more ways that we can perceive what's happening to us. Right? And again, all of this is leading up to the December 21st, 2020 solstice and changeover of the ages. And Azrael reminded me that we talked about this in the summer, that Stephen Hawking even said when he recalculated the Mayan calendar, he said it was miscalculated. The great change of era wasn't 2012, it was 2020. And this is really exciting because we are in this 2020 right now. We're in this change time where it moves from Pisces to Aquarius. And Aquarius, again, is this enlightened age where consciousness comes back in, higher light consciousness, compassion, choice, love. And this is what we're in right now. And so it's this age of higher knowledge, this great change. And so we need to remember we're not at the end of times. Like a lot of people are feeling so much fear right now that this is the end of times. Everything is over. The world has gone to whatever word you want to use. And that's not the case. The world is actually changing in consciousness. It's happening now. And it's happening more boldly. It's happening in a way that many of you are feeling it. And many of you might be feeling today, especially you're feeling extra wonky, extra edgy, extra excited, extra something. Just notice you're feeling those energies of change. And remember, it's going to amplify a little bit more up to December 21st, but it's okay. And so he said, as we make this approach to the official transition of ages, make peace with what has ended in your life. Trust that it has been removed for a reason. And a reason being you are being cleared to step more fully into alignment. Be open to creating time for quiet and reflection. This is part of why COVID lockdowns are here, to give you more time to go within and prepare. And I realize that's a generalized statement because COVID has affected people in many different ways. I'm talking about the spiritual way in which it has allowed us to reflect. So he says, embrace the unlimited potential of your future. Have faith in it. Faith goes a long way. Even the word faith has a resonance that creates great ripples. And he repeated that to me so many times. The word faith is not simply a religious term. It has an energetic frequency to it that uplifts. So think about that. And so with that, he thanks you all for opening your hearts to these messages and encourages you all to keep your hearts open through these transformative times. And rest assured that the universe has you. We are so incredibly supported, more than we ever have been in this time. I mean, I know we've been saying it throughout all the podcasts, but we truly are, and so we need to trust in that. So I hope you find this message as uplifting as I did. I hope it made sense to you, because there's a lot of topics to put into this, but I'm trusting with what he brought through and why and the timing of it. And I sure know that it really just filled my heart and reassured me that I can just truly choose how I wish to feel in these times right now, and how to really kind of float through these in between times. And so, I mean, I have so much coming down the pipe for you guys in 2021. There's so much to share as consciousness rises, the contact with higher dimensional beings above, the third dimension, are increasing. I'm going to start talking more about light beings, as I like to call them. Other people call them ETs, extraterrestrials, the Galactic Federation, the higher realms of light from ninth dimension and above, where the three guides of the light are. We're going to get into more talk on that. If you really want a super deep dive though, like no hold back dive, I encourage you guys to check out avalonspirit.com in the Cosmic Consciousness group. That's going to be a really great group. We're starting in January, where I'm really going to take you guys on a deep dive into everything happening in the cosmos as it's happening. We meet twice a month and on Zoom, and you guys will get that direct info as I get it, basically. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit subscribe if you haven't already, because you will enter to win a chance for free reading. And I'm very excited to offer that. Also, check us out on Facebook, on Avalon Spirit Group, where you guys can interact with me really easily, and everybody else in the group that is just sharing all kinds of awesome stuff. So for those of you that are already in there, thank you so much for that. And also, I want to share that I'm so excited. My book, Avalon to Aurora, Lessons from the Other Side to Guide Your Life on Earth, is out, is live, is on Amazon. You guys can get it on Amazon. And yesterday I was so thrilled when Spirit said go check, and I was like, check. And I hit #1 bestseller within one of the categories, and that just absolutely filled my heart and brought tears to my eyes, because that means you guys wanted to read it and buy it, and I can't thank you enough. Honestly, I'm so grateful for all of you who want to read the words in there and the story. And I've had a couple people already reach out who have read it already and loved it, and I just thank you so much. Wouldn't have been possible without my dear friend and business partner, Lois Nahirny. Thank you so much. I'm just going to do a shout out to you because you helped bring that to life. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, there's just so much more to come, you guys. I'm excited for 2021, but I'm also trying to live in the moment of right now. And right now is today, December 14th, Gandanta, new moon, eclipse, meeting of fire and water, transformation, change. We got this. We totally got this. We are supported. You are loved. We got this. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you again for listening, and I'll be back next week.